Não sei se... Pá, eu nunca na vida me meteria nisto, porque claramente não é o meu tipo de cena. Mas eu quero só partilhar isto com vocês.
7-hour
Porque eu descobri isto hoje.
long meal.
Estamos a falar... Peraí. Vou só partilhar isto para vocês verem.
And it's really weird.
Tipo...
I got the chance to visit the weirdest restaurant in the world. I'm talking about Alchemist in Copenhagen. Reservations...
Eu hoje estive a ver restaurantes e cenas em Copenhaga para ir. Pá, e este é tipo o número 1. E pá, fiquei chocado com as merdas que vi.
sell out in under 3 seconds, and it's one of the best restaurants in the world, but I can't even really call it dinner. I mean, when's the end? Is it worth it? The experience starts from the moment you walk in. These massive doors that slowly open to a black...
Eu sinto que este tipo de restaurantes, opa, isto é para, eu sinto bem que isto é para aquele tipo de malta que é assim, quanto dinheiro tens? Demasiado. Do género, nem sei bem quanto é ao certo, é simplesmente demasiado. Pá, e não sei mesmo o que é de fazer a ele. Do género, pá, não sei o que é que um gajo vai fazer com o dinheiro. Então não temos mesmo mais nada que fazer. Então, pá, vamos nisto. Só para ver como é. Pá, isto vai custar quê? 2.000 euros? Que se foda, 2.000 euros. Eu acho que é isso. Claramente.
Black void. You're told to go into a pitch black room where all of a sudden... a violinist from the Copenhagen Philharmonic greets you with a Danish folk song. It was actually a little bit scary. But then the doors open and you're in their lounge with their massive wine towers and interactive drink menus waiting for the meal to begin. There were already some ridiculous moments even before we got the food, but for this meal I decided to let go of all expectations of what this meal could be, so I could really...
Para vocês terem noção, eu vi um gajo a comer uma borboleta hoje num dos vídeos sobre este restaurante.
Experience everything that they had to offer. And then the food started coming out. And already I was shocked. A daisy with a center that explodes in your mouth. A drink made with rabbit ears.
Uma bebida feita com orelha de coelho.
The thing about this restaurant is usually I can imagine what a dish looks like. But when you tell me that this is a dumpling and the texture of the outside is almost like cotton candy, my brain just can't process it. This is bread made from vegetable leftovers that they collaborated with SpaceX and NASA on. Like, what?
So, the next impression is our attempt to making the perfect omelet. So what we have here is a very thin skin that's made of eggs. We fill it up with a soft scramble from the eggs themselves with a bit of comté cheese. And on top we put pancetta and truffle butter.
Their bikini sandwich from Spain was transformed into a mochi ball of cheese and Iberian ham goodness. Oh my god. I have never had a meal like this, and going in I felt a little intimidated. I mean, the giant doors, the pitch black room with a violinist, the space food, who wouldn't feel intimidated? But then as the dishes started coming, I was kind of just having fun. I felt like a kid in a toy store getting to play with all of these different dishes. And then we were whisked away from the lounge into their main dining room and I mean, just look at it. You walk in and there's this giant dome with beautiful visuals on it that move and change. The waitstaff is serving guests in their simple yet elegant gray outfits and everything is so...
O que eu acho graça é, houve alguém que disse assim, mano, e se nós fizéssemos isto? E o gajo disse, ai, a grande cena, vamos fazer isso. E fizeram isto.
Precise and orderly. Honestly, if you told me that this was part of some dystopian novel or movie, I would have fully believed you. And it's funny because the first dish that we were served here was called 1984.
And there's a very famous line from the book also saying the big brother is watching
Isto é uma refeição, pelo que eu percebi. Isto é um olho e é uma merda tipo...
you. So tonight we are watching you with this eye. We are serving you a Danish potato. Together with a cream made out of lovage, some fresh green peas, and on top serving you Satyr caviar.
So from here on out, what I love about Alchemist is many of their dishes have some sort of deeper meaning. 1984 was about data privacy, and you have the visuals on the dome with all the eyes watching you like Big Brother really is watching you. We'll wind up having dishes that are about human rights, blood donations.
Eu, pelo que percebi, hoje eu estive a ler sobre este restaurante, para vocês terem noção, o absurdo que isto é, eles têm, acho que é filas, não é filas de espera, eles têm em espera, acho que são tipo 5.000 pessoas em espera vocês para reservarem este restaurante, pelo que eu entendi e estive a ler, são tipo, é preciso um ano e meio de reserva com antecedência. Pá, é completamente inacreditável.
Caged
E
animals.
estamos a falar de um spot que é 1000€ por pessoa.
And then you have dishes like this.
This impression is called Plastic Fantastic. It is a comment on microplastics, the ones we find in our oceans and in the creatures that live in the ocean.
But that wasn't their only commentary about the ocean. They had this beautifully lit jellyfish dish that's about finding more sustainable sources of seafood that we can eat and enjoy. They also had this cake that was made from the tails of king crab, which are often an underutilized part of the animal. This was a menu that really made you think. If you told me that I would be going into this meal and learning about the world, I would have thought that you were crazy. But when you're eating a dish that looks and feels like plastic and you're looking at the visuals on the dome of a turtle trapped in some plastic itself, you really start to feel something. But not all the dishes had some sort of societal meaning. Some of them were just fun.
Rasmus got the inspiration of his favorite food, beautiful lobster roll. You just make a mold from a real lobster claw, fill it up with the meat parts, freeze it down, dip it in vodka, and deep fry it.
After this is when things start to get creepy, like really creepy. I'm an adventurous eater, but even I started to have my limits tested by some of these dishes.
Mano, imagina, pá, não sei, pá, sinto que não é para mim isto. Mano, a cabeça, imagina, agora dão-te aqui tipo uma cena que parece uma cabeça com algo lá dentro para tu comer.
There was a moment where I overheard the guy next to me saying that he would not eat this dish no matter what, so I literally had to turn to him and convince him to at least try the dish, you know? Alchemist is not just about the fun and freewheeling dishes, it's also got some dishes that will make you uneasy. But when the waitstaff came and explained what the dishes were made of and what they represented, it sort of eased a lot of that fear.
This is the lungs of the lamb, which is very much a kind of taboo part of the animal, even by offal standards. Here we've made them into almost like a pate or like a cream.
We're eating lungs right now. Really, really delicious actually. That's amazing.
Here you're getting the impression, which is called food for thoughts. You're getting served here the lamb brain. It comes on top of a deep fried brioche bowl, which is filled with foie gras and a little bit more than lamb brain.
What are we eating? Lamb brain. This is what we're eating. Lamb brain. Oh my god.
So with lungs and brain
Que imaginei, pá, estão a ver, sei lá, é absurdo.
on the menu, we might as well have had the tongue as well. They didn't explicitly state that it was a replica of the chef's tongue, but I feel like it was implied, so I had to give the chef a French kiss. This section of the dishes was just insane and is what made Alchemist so weird and beautiful and amazing.
É que o que é impressionante é isto, estamos a falar de um sítio que tem milhares de pessoas em espera para poder ir lá jantar. Estamos a falar de um sítio que, pronto, é extremamente caro, evidentemente, por causa da experiência. Precisas de reservar com 1 ano e meio de antecedência, ou lá o que é para poder ir lá jantar. Pá, e isto funciona de uma forma incrível. E sei lá, obviamente, isto não é para mim, de forma absolutamente nenhuma. Pá, não é mesmo, não iria curtir, eu tenho a certeza.
I mean, the act of literally freeing a caged chicken in order to enjoy your dish, while images of tons of caged birds are all around you, is actually quite powerful.
Look at this chicken leg. We freed it from the cage, now we have to eat it.
But I'm actually coming from business school. I'm educated from, I'm
I used to think that fine dining was stuffy, formal. It was a bunch of people
By the way, este vídeo está fixe.
in suits and ties and white tablecloths on the table. But what I realized, especially for me, is I just love seeing how far food can go, how it can be creative and innovative and be more than just about taste, how it can really potentially inspire. And seemingly simple dishes like this light and airy bread topped with Iberian ham, or this fluffy bao that almost looks like it came out of Squid Game, can be so interesting and unique. Now, desserts were my favorite part of the meal, but there was one part that actually shocked me. I had never seen this in a restaurant before. It's this room that's blindingly pink. It's an interactive dish. I mean, I really don't know how to explain it.
Welcome. I will be guiding you through this experience.
Eu acho impressionante alguém se ter lembrado de criar isto.
Please wipe your hands with the napkin in front of you. Please throw your napkin on the floor. Carefully grip the cup with one hand. Insert your index finger into the cup.
By the way, yes, we are still eating a fine dining meal.
Run your finger along the inside of the cup and then raise your finger. Lick your finger. Now.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe what just happened. So we move on to desserts.
It's the iconic Andy Warhol banana. This is a piece of art that actually does hang in Rasmus's kitchen, but it also depicts the art that Andy Warhol did for another one of Rasmus's inspirations, which is the Velvet Underground. Blood donation is very, very close to a lot of Danes' hearts. Right now, there's a pretty serious national blood shortage, so they're kind of constantly doing call-outs for people to donate blood if they're able. But we also know that lots of our guests don't come from Denmark. It's not super relevant to only talk about the local blood shortage, so we built the QR code at the bottom of the plate. It launches a website that we designed to kind of get guests connected to blood banks that are closest to them.
To finish off the meal, we had this chocolate bar because ending on blood isn't the best. This chocolate bar has facts about child labor in the chocolate trade and how inhumane some chocolate can be. It's in a biodegradable wrapper and the bar itself is in the shape of a grave to really highlight that point. It's powerful stuff. We had a final few bites like these wood ants inside of amber, but the 7 hours really flew by. I honestly can't even believe that we were there for that long. So is it worth it? Well, the short answer for me is yes. It was the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. I see it kind of like getting VIP tickets to your favorite artist's concert or getting tickets to the World Cup. It's a once in a lifetime experience, but it's something that you should experience once in your life.